The Queen looked ecstatic in an elegant blue ensemble as she appeared alongside the Prince of Wales for a military parade at the Palace of Holyroodhouse today. In the gardens of the Edinburgh residence, more than 300 officers and archers from the Queen's Bodyguard for Scotland took part in the Reddendo parade, watched by Her Majesty, 96, who carried her now customary walking stick, and Prince Charles. The Royal Company of Archers acts as the sovereign's ceremonial bodyguard for Scotland, a role first created in 1822 during a visit to Scotland by King George IV. During the ceremony, the Queen and Charles, who is also known by his title Duke of Rothesay when in Scotland, arrived by the Equerry's door and were met in the garden by the Captain General of the Royal Company of Archers, the Duke of Buccleuch, before receiving a royal salute. The event is the largest gathering of the sovereign's bodyguard in history, with 25 officers and 298 archers on parade. Several engagements during Holyrood Week so far have seen the Queen represented by her children, the Prince of Wales, Princess Anne and Prince Edward, including at the garden party at the Palace of Holyroodhouse and the Order of the Thistle service. During today's outing, the Prince inspected the royal company with the parade commander, and the Queen was presented with a Reddendo, a present from the officers and archers to mark the bicentenary of the Queen's Bodyguard for Scotland. In past centuries, the Reddendo presented to the monarch was a pair of arrows on a velvet cushion, but during the 3 occasions the Queen has received the gift, it has been replaced by more practical items, a brooch in 1952, glass vase in 1976 and a pen tray in 2006. The Reddendo is presented with the traditional words spoken by the Captain General. According to our ancient charter, I present to your Majesty the Reddendo, craving that your Majesty will be graciously pleased to continue your royal countenance and recognition of all the ancient rights and privileges of the Royal Company of Archers, your Majesty's bodyguard for Scotland. On Tuesday, the monarch met members of the armed forces in the gardens of the Palace of Holyroodhouse, during an act of loyalty parade to celebrate her traditional visit to Scotland and to mark her Platinum Jubilee. As a result of her mobility problems, the Queen has cut down on her public appearances, and before her visit to Scotland for Holyrood Week, was last seen during her Platinum Jubilee weekend earlier this month. According to Buckingham Palace, Holyrood Week is a chance for the Queen and members of the royal family to visit various regions in Scotland, meet Scots from all walks of life and host thousands at the Palace of Holyroodhouse in recognition of the good work. It began with the ceremony of the keys at the Palace of Holyroodhouse in Edinburgh on Monday. During the ceremony, on the day of the Queen's arrival, she was symbolically offered the keys to the city of Edinburgh by the Lord Provost. The tradition dictates that the monarch returns them, entrusting their safekeeping to the city's elected officials. A video of the Queen upon her arrival in Scotland showed her waving to fans and navigating the train steps easily, as she disembarked without assistance, despite mobility issues that have led to her scaling back public appearances. The video showed a royal assistant standing ready to help Her Majesty down the steps onto the platform, but the monarch descended the steps without any help.